Welcome to the Shellonomics Podcast, your source for pure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles entertainment, presented by King Midas.
Turtles and Rangers and Godzilla, oh my! Today, guys, we are in for a treat. We are breaking down TMNT MMPR number 3 in full, along with the Ninja Turtles Godzilla crossover. Before we get into anything, we are joined once again by our good friend TMNT Talk. And guys, he has broken the Power Rangers and Godzilla comics down on his channel already in a farther deep dive than we ever could on Shellonomics. Over here, I like to do little previews because I love just spending time with Christian talking about these comics with debates. You know, when I need money, I go to my financial advisor. I don't go to my mechanic. Mechanic may know something, but you stick with what you know best. Christian knows his turtles. I always love picking his brain with questions on if he would change something, what he would do differently. So, dude, I know you were hyped about these on your show. I'm not going to ask you to pick which one you liked better, but let's get started before you do the intro. Godzilla. Now, Godzilla's been around for way longer than, we've been around Earth. He's got crazy monsters like King Kong, Mothra. There's a ton of craziness. So, did you think this was a good fit for the Turtle franchise?
When the Godzilla crossover was announced, on one side I was excited because I really like the Godzilla movies. I enjoy them. It's big monsters bashing each other through skyscrapers. What's not to love? But on the other hand, I was like, okay, but how do the turtles fit into this? And it is to not get too ahead of ourselves, but in this, they really connected these two worlds in a very interesting way. And in the first 3 issues, like, okay, they're building up, like, okay, there's a connection between the Foot Clan and the Kaiju monsters. And in the last 2 issues, they went totally batshit crazy, and I was all there for it. It's like, okay, this is kind of stupid, but totally fun. And so, yeah, as I said, I did not know what to expect once again, but they really told a very fun story. Don't take it too seriously. And I had fun with this, absolutely.
And that's how I want to talk about this too, before we get into this. So, have you had time to see the new Mario movie that's out in theaters yet?
Not yet. I hope to see it this weekend.
Okay, because I think you're going to like it like I did and most fans, because that's kind of the point here in regards to the Godzilla comic crossover, the He-Man crossover, and Power Rangers, among the others. I feel these are just fun little Easter egg things that are just almost like how the world lives with short-term content. That's kind of how these work, because I don't feel these stories could last long like our IDW series or the Tales of the Turtles. It's just a nice little treat for everybody, because when you see this Mario movie, when you do get to take your family to it, that's how I feel about it. A lot of critics didn't like it because they feel there's no story and no plot. But you'll see the numbers. You'll see the ticket sales. You'll see the feedback from fans who just love this, because there's just so much going on. And that's how I feel these crossovers are. Now, Godzilla, I told you before it live, I'm not the biggest Godzilla fan, and is too many turtles a bad thing? Sometimes it could be. We had our toys growing up in the 80s, right? You had sports toys, wrestling toys, squirter toys, giant toys. Like, sometimes excessive, could be a bad thing, but we're going to break it down and we'll hear Christian's thoughts afterwards. Because with me, my first reaction was, how in the heck can Godzilla and the Turtles exist? I mean, if they're using, I'm thinking maybe they're going to get Krang's android body, like how they took down Lord Dreg in the final episode of the old OG, Turtles. Like, how can you withstand this guy? Like, I just don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to break it down, and then I'll share my thoughts at the end. So feel free to break down Turtles Godzilla.
Okay. It's going to be a minute here.
Oh, yes.
The whole 5-part series. So we first find out that Godzilla and the Turtles, they exist in this universe, they exist in the same world. It's not like the Turtles go to Godzilla land or other way around. No, these are different Turtles. This is a new version of Turtles, kind of like they did with the Naruto crossover. They just exist in the same world. Cool. And we also find out that in the past, the Foot Clan actually was founded to fight off these Kaiju monsters. But when Godzilla arrived, he was too strong for the Foot Clan, including Orokusaki and Hamato Yoshi. In the present time, in New York, the Turtles have a little fight with Bebop and Rocksteady because they attack a Japanese scientist named Emi Kinoshita because they want to take some kind of device from her. That's going to be important later on. Suddenly, in Tokyo, there is an attack by some kaiju, including Godzilla, and it seems like Shredder and Krang have something to do with it. And Krang has, with the blood from the kaiju, created the Kaijutagen, a mix of kaiju DNA and mutagen. And the Turtles, they want to go to Tokyo to find out more about it, but suddenly King Ghidorah, the three-headed dragon, appears in New York. And Casey and Mondo Gecko, they have a team up. I'm not sure why Casey and Mondo Gecko, but hey, Mondo, I like Mondo, okay. And they get attacked by King Ghidorah and the Turtles arrive in a van and save them. In Tokyo, a military base gets attacked by Godzilla, Anguirus, and Rodan. Anguirus. I think I said that wrong. The military then activates Mechagodzilla. The kaiju are controlled by Shredder with the foot technique that they used way back, that they created to calm these beasts, and with help of some Dimension X technology. And this paves the way for Shredder and Krang to enter the base where they find other kaiju, namely Hedorah, Biolante, and Destoroyah. In New York, the Turtles and Splinter use the foot technique to connect their minds to King Ghidorah. They are able to calm the monster and it flies off. And then it's time for the team to fly to Japan. In Tokyo, the Turtles and Splinter land on top of Godzilla by parachute. And they use the same technique they used on Ghidorah, but Donatello is distracted and the team starts arguing. So they can't connect with Godzilla and the kaiju keeps on rampaging. Still on the plane, April explains that she had a dream and something is calling her to an island. Casey believes her and they fly off to this mysterious island. The Turtles and Splinter, they argue why they couldn't calm Godzilla, and they think that the main problem was Donatello. Donatello overhears this and he runs off. Bebop and Rocksteady meanwhile arrive in Japan and they go back to the Technodrome where Krang uses the Kaijutagen on the two, which turns them into kaiju mutants. Donatello meanwhile meets with Dr. Kinoshita and it turns out that the Foot Clan came after her again, but this time they were successful and stole the device, which is a device that can grow and shrink stuff and people. She also shows him the mecha Jet Jaguar that her grandfather built. It's like a giant mecha robot. April, Casey, and Mondo, meanwhile, have arrived on this mysterious island, and there she meets two little women who are the guardians of none other than Mothra. And they tell April that she was chosen as the avatar of Mothra. Thanks to a soldier, the Turtles get 3 vials with DNA from the kaiju. The Turtles find the Technodrome and they see that the bad guys use the kaiju DNA for their own plans. Suddenly, the giant Bebop and Rocksteady kaiju appears, like this mix of mutants and kaiju. It's wild. This is the part where I said, now it's get wild. Krang then confronts Godzilla himself, and he used the Kaijutagen on himself and became Hedorah Krang. Then Donatello arrives with Jet Jaguar, who he changed a bit to become Jetatello. So yeah, this is now the big crossover part here. Krang gets defeated, and the other Turtles don't stand a chance against the giant Bebop and Rocksteady. So they have to use the DNA from the Kaiju and Kaijutagen on themselves to become turtle versions of Godzilla, Ghidorah, and Rodan. A big battle starts until April arrives as the avatar of Mothra. So now she's like this big moth creature. Her magic powder that she has on her wings transforms Bebop and Rocksteady back into their normal mutant selves. But Godzilla is meanwhile on the way back to the island Odo, where Shredder, who fused with Mechagodzilla, is already waiting for him. This brings us to the big finale, where Shredder fights with Godzilla and almost destroys him. The Kaiju Turtles arrive and fight alongside Godzilla against Shredder. But Shredder uses his technology to revert the turtles back to their normal selves, and Godzilla goes wild again. Just then, Chetatello arrives and fights Godzilla too. But to calm the kaiju, the team has to use the foot technique again. Turtles and Splinter connect with Godzilla as they realize what they have in common. Both are mutant creatures and are more alike than they first realized. The Turtles and Godzilla are now on the same side and are able to defeat Shredder. In the end, Godzilla returns to the sea as the Turtles and friends celebrate their victory. The end.
Yeah. So is this, I guess a question for you is, in regards to how you explain it, is this just one of those just roll with it, kind of get the feel of the 1987 Turtles where a lot of things aren't going to make sense, but just have fun anyways, right? I mean, and it's not a sarcastic way to go about it.
Pretty much. As I said, in the first 3 issues, like the Turtles, they have this foot technique and they try to use it to calm the beast. And when that doesn't work, it's like, okay, go to the next level, turn ourselves into kaiju. And this is like, I mean, they realized they released these Playmates toys for the crossover, if you remember, like Leonardo as Godzilla and so on and so forth. And I was not sure, it's like this, like just a gag for the toys. But then we really got like Leonardo Godzilla and Raphael Rodin and so on and so forth. So we pretty much got this. And yeah, this is like the part where like, okay, this is fun. Stupid fun, but it's fun. It's like, okay, hey, come on. It's kind of like this. This is what you want to see. It's kind of like when in the second Power Rangers crossover, the Power Rangers turned into mutant creatures, like Tommy turned into a mutant dragon. The Turtles even realized, like, okay, how can this be when dragons are not real? And they're like, just go with it. It's fun. And this is kind of the same way. Don't think too hard about it. It's fun.
And that's what, as long as you're having a good time, exactly. Because if you're trying to pick this apart, because me and you, again, from the hardcore nerds that we are with Turtles, it's like, which way are you going? Because we have Shredder and Krang together, and it looks like they're going more with the 87 Krang instead of the IDW Krang. And then you have Kitsune in the mix too. So it's like, which way are we going? Then you have the Purple Foot Soldiers, but they're talking. The robots didn't talk back in the show. So again, this is, if we just roll with it and have a good time, there's so much to like about this. 2 things that stood out for me was, of course, I'm the wrestling guy. Michelangelo mentioned Sweet Chin Music. We know we're talking about the old Shawn Michaels wrestler, so always nice to see those little Easter eggs in there. And how did you like Splinter freaking out? Because that's something we rarely see. I like the artwork about that too. There was one part where Splinter was like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Yeah, absolutely. I just realized Splinter was the only one who didn't transform into... Okay, I mean, Casey and Mondo Gecko didn't too. But yeah, we didn't get a Splinter kaiju. Maybe in the next crossover, who knows?
Yeah, if it did well. I mean, and how about... I guess if you're an April fan, she gets the spotlight too, right? I mean, she's pretty much like the main attraction near the end of this. So what were your thoughts on April being a big star?
Yeah, that was something that at first I did not realize, because she didn't get the kaiju gen. How can she transform into like this Mothra fusion? But it's like she's the avatar, so she gets the power from Mothra herself. Once again, it's like, okay, just go with it. And I really liked her design. I thought it was really cool. Like she was like kind of like a fairy with the wings, and it looks really cool. And as always, as you say, it's always nice to give April some spotlight for her to really be in the fight with the others. So yeah, that was really cool. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. So overall, how does this compare to the other crossovers?
Yeah, it's one of those that's like, okay, that's just fun. It pretty much gives you what you want. It gives you giant kaiju turtles and kaiju Bebop and Rocksteady and Mechagodzilla, Shredder, and so on and so forth. So there's not much to complain. It has some nice little callbacks to other Godzilla properties with all these creatures, with all these monsters. So I think it's really something. As a turtle fan, you get a fun turtle adventure, and I really like the connection with the Foot Clan. That was really interesting. That in this world, the Foot Clan was actually founded to fight off kaiju. This is really how they connected these two worlds. That was really something, and I think it's also something for Godzilla fans, because all these characters appearing and all these monsters appearing and all these callbacks to like Jet Jaguar or Biolante, all these characters that I'm not that familiar with, but I think Godzilla fans can really get a kick out of this too. So I guess it works on both sides.
Yep, no, that's how I feel, because Godzilla is not my strong suit. I can hang with very casual talk like, hey, Godzilla, King Kong, and after that it's like, I don't really know too much about him. So for those fans, I think they will enjoy it. The way I rate this one is, it's one of those where if you read it once, I think you're going to have a good time, and then it's up to you if you're a big passionate fan about this story, if there's replay value. For me, hey, like me and Christian Art, we're there for it. If it's Turtles, we're going to at least look into it and give you guys our feedback. So I enjoyed reading it. Will I read it again in the near future? Not too soon, but I wouldn't be opposed to picking it back up again someday. But the next one, ooh, man, this is a dream come true for a dude who grew up with Turtles and then went right into Power Rangers. I mean, I was hoping when I read the first one of this is Turtles Power Rangers number 3 we're talking about, which I wasn't sure if it was going to get released too, because Christian, there was a long break until this one actually came out and started. I was very nervous about that, because I'm like, wait a minute, where is our dude Lord Zed? Finally, we get the dream team that could only happen if you were playing with your toys at your house, where you had Lord Zed figure and Shredder, and it's like, it's time to team up. Dun, dun, dun. Let's own the world. So this one's going to get dark. There's going to be some shock. There's going to be a ton of Easter eggs, and you guys can tell by the way I've picked up my voice, I am very excited to cover this one with Christian. Dude, what were your thoughts on this before we get into breaking it down? I felt this deserved a number 3 just to get some closure in this as a whole.
Oh, yeah. I would agree with you there. If this is really like now the final chapter of the trilogy, and as you said, we really waited, I think 2 years or something for this. And the last crossover ended with Shredder and Lord Zed teaming up, and then it was over. And finally, now we have the third part of the series. And if this is really it, if this is the end of the Turtles and Power Rangers crossovers, I'm totally fine with it, because I think we now got everything out of this crossover series that we can. I mean, I'm always open to surprises. Sure. If they have a plan like, oh, we have another idea what we can do in the next crossover, and like, okay, show it to me. But if this is it, this is the end, this is the final part of this trilogy, and this is it, I'm totally fine with it. I think they really got it all out of it, and I'm totally fine with it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yep, same here. It was like, I was hoping we would have got Rito Revolto in there somewhere, because this thing has pretty much everybody. This is like the NECA toy collection for fans. I mean, they try to give you everybody. And like we mentioned earlier, guys, again, if you want a full deep dive into this, please check out our good friend Christian, TMNT Talks podcast. He breaks down, even this week, it just came out, he breaks down issues 3, 4, and 5 in great detail. Here, we're just going to give you a taste, because I like going back and forth with Christian on talking about this with, not debates, just sharing each other's thoughts. So, dude, we've got number 3. We've got 5 issues. We're starting with some Z Putties, and take it away.
Alrighty. So, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. The third 5-part series. So, we now have Shredder and Lord Zed. They have teamed up, and they are sending more monsters to Earth, and the Turtles and the Power Rangers are pretty busy with fighting all these monsters. And Tommy and Raphael, the two hotheads, they want to take the fight to the enemies. It's like, hey, we cannot just wait, and we cannot just activate whenever the bad guys appear. We have to be active on our own. So they teleport to the moon base. But the bad guys now also have morphers, and so Bebop and Rocksteady turn into like these rangers and fight them. So they are now even stronger. Then Leonardo, Jason, and Splinter beam in to help them. And it's like the bad guys just waited for this, because Lord Zed shoots an energy beam from his staff at Splinter, and disintegrates him. Like, this was the big cliffhanger shocker of the first issue, and I was really shocked. Like, okay, this is not what I expected. So after this devastating loss, the team splits up. Just then, more of Shredder's and Zed's team get teleported to different parts in the world, like Tokka, Razor, Karai, Leatherhead, all in morpher suits. But that's actually just a distraction, as Zed, Shredder, Beaver, and Rocksteady attack the military research facility where the Technodrome is kept. As the battle against Shredder goes on, Zed enters the Technodrome looking for Mutation. But then Leonardo reappears and confronts him. So Shredder in his Green Ranger form, he is back in his Green Ranger form, which always looks pretty cool, he fights against his enemies. And Leonardo fights Lord Zed, and he kicks him into a tank with Mutation during his fight. Then the bad guys are able to take over the Technodrome and fly off with it. And I mean, really mean fly, like the Technodrome is floating now. Leonardo and Tommy then go to another place in the universe called the Temple of White Light, where they look for a weapon to fight the bad guys. Meanwhile, others team up with the Dimension X Rangers, who are actually Casey, April, and the Neutrinos. Zach Desk in color as Neutrinos. How awesome is that? And they fight in Dimension X other bad guys like Slash. And other team is fighting in Japan, other monsters. Leonardo and Tommy at the temple then run into a newly mutated form of Zed. So when Leonardo fought him, he got mutagen on him, and now he's really big, really strong, and really scary looking. Leo and Tommy, they fight Lord Zed, but he's too powerful, so they retreat. The Dimension X team is also successful in defeating the enemies. And in Japan, the team gets help from none other than Miyamoto Usagi. Yes, that was, once again, a big surprise for me, as it turns out that this is not Earth Japan, but Usagi's Japan, where they are right now. As Leonardo and Tommy, they try to escape through a portal, they get attacked by more putties and evil rangers. Suddenly, a new white ranger comes in to help, who actually turns out to be Splinter. But the Technodrome and Lord Zed's Zord, Serpentera have combined their power and destroyed the Rangers' headquarters in a blast of energy. Then, in the final issue, we first see, in another world, a female turtle fights off putties and enemies, and that's Venus de Milo. Another thing that I did not expect to see in this. As Shredder and Zed attack New York with the Technodrome and monsters, the team come together, and also Zordon is okay inside his new body, Krang's old robotic body. Then all the Zords come together, and the Turtles and the Rangers fight together in the city against all these monsters, while Splinter and Zordon attack the Technodrome from the inside. So one big fight on all sides. It's Zordon versus Zed, and Splinter as the White Ranger versus Shredder as the Green Ranger. How awesome is that? With his magic staff, Splinter is able to undo Zed's mutation and destroy Shredder's morpher. The bad guys are defeated, but the Technodrome is still active. Then comes the part that confused me the most. Billy comes in riding a dragon, and he attacks the Technodrome with it. The fight is over, Zed and Shredder get imprisoned, and the Rangers take over the moon base as the new headquarters. All the bad guys are defeated, but the Turtles, including Venus, and all the Rangers are ready for whatever may come in the future, and this ends this series. And wow, what a wild ride that was. And first off, I have a question. Maybe you can answer that. What was that dragon at the end that Billy was riding? I did not check it. Is this something that the Power Rangers have? A dragon friend that looks like Shenron from Dragon Ball Z? I don't know.
Oh, I'm going to have to look that up really quick again, because I know what you're talking about. Now, you know who Serpentera is, right?
I had to look that up, but yeah, no, it's Zed's
it's
Zord,
Super Zord, yeah. And it was sucked because as a kid, it was awesome to see, but they had to have a running gag for some reason, I guess because it was too OP. So think of it like if you're doing an RPG game and you're using your magic and you need cooldowns, because every time they were ready to kill him, it was like the Technodrome. They always needed more power. So it would always like shut down before it was about to fry them. Yeah, exactly. What else? So the other question you had, I think, too, was in your podcast. You were like, oh, because again, you appreciate the sarcasm like I do when they do these. From I think it was issue 1 where they're like, hey, how is he playing the flute with through his helmet way back in series 1? And now, like you were saying, you almost, again, because it's been 30 years since you've seen Power Rangers, but you were a little confused about Saba being able to talk, right? When Splinter held the White Ranger sword?
Yeah, he had his staff, and the staff talked. I mean, that was also a very funny scene when Shredder is like, hey, your weapon is talking, and Splinter's like, what, yours doesn't?
Yeah.
So I liked this. That was a fun moment.
No, I also liked when they had, what else was there? So the part that got me the best, before we get into all these Easter eggs, is the writing by Ryan Parrott. Again, phenomenal, because I'm sure you thought of me when you were reading this one. When Mikey comes around, I always am very picky, make sure he's good. And I don't even think the IDW or any other comic has said this quote, and this is probably going to be a top 10 quote for life for Mikey. When Raphael, if you remember that part, because this was Easter egg galore. Mikey is almost in, for those who have not read this and you're listening to this on Spotify or YouTube at Shellonomics, think of Michelangelo in a danger room, because Splinter is gone. He is fuming. He's fighting pretty much every who's who of Power Ranger monsters that we all grew up loving. Pumpkin Rapper, King Spinks, Eye Guy. And then what Raphael says about Mike, the only thing scarier than an angry Mikey is a quiet one. I had chills reading that, dude. That was so well written. How did you like Toka and Razor coming into this?
Oh, that was just so fun. I mean, as I said, with all these bad guys in these ranger suits, that was so cool. I enjoyed all their designs. Slash, Karai, Leatherhead, Toka and Razor, Beaver and Rocksteady. I want toys of all of them. I'm honest here. They all look so cool. We had some really nice little cameos there. That was not what I expected. I mean, Chrome Dome. We got Chrome Dome. How awesome is that? Yeah. So cool. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's almost like Billy took a Serpentera like sword. No, I do not remember that such good analogy to like if the Dragon Ball Z dragon. No, I know my Dragon Zord. I know Titanus. I know Thor, which is fine. I don't know if maybe he was in the other ones. I forget. Thor, the Shuttle Zord. He was like a turtle, like a carrier. He was just to help collect your toys, and just another pitch for us to go. You know, our parents spent hard-earned money on some Zords, but I do not know where that thing came from. It was nice to see Billy getting a pop. And I guess I'm going to sound a little hypocritical here because I was just nitpicking at IDW a couple weeks ago. Oh, there's too many mutants. I get confused. But I like all the ones here. And the only reason I'm going to say why is because I remember all these characters. I'm familiar with them. So maybe if the IDW characters I knew and then they all like went crazy within Mutant Town, I would have enjoyed it a little more. But just seeing all these characters, I mean, Toka and Razor, Master Say have fun. Zach talks about his power axe. I don't know why I need to say that out loud. For those who remember the show, they used to always bring their weapons together. He would always yell out power axe. You get Zed killing Splinter. Now, is that ever going to lose flavor? I'm going to say no, depending when you read comics and watch the show, because me and Chris have been breaking down so much this last year and a half. Splinter's continuing to die now. He died in the Peter Laird comics where he just went, slowly of age. The shocking death in the Nick series, among other deaths. I think this was a nice treat because I don't think Splinter dying has happened in any other crossover. So what was your take about reading that Splinter being gone in the first part of this series here?
Oh, as I said, I definitely didn't expect it. As you say, I mean, we already had some Splinter deaths in our time, but I did not expect this to happen in a crossover. I mean, yeah, these are not like the IDW Turtles. This is its own thing. But still, it really surprised me. I mean, sometimes getting hurt or anything, but really getting killed, that I did not expect. I mean, he came back, also a little bit confused there. So Splinter did not really say how he survived this. It was like, okay, no, the white light magic, it saved me. It's like, okay, works with me. Once again, Splinter as the White Ranger. How cool was that? That was also, he looked so cool. All these designs, and Green Shredder is always a blast. So cool. But yeah, the first issue ending with this scene, it really shocked me. It was like, oh, that I did not expect. It was really, yeah. Still, they still can do it. They still can shock us with Splinter's death, even though we had some in our last times.
Right. This actually just came to me while we're recording this pre-recorded, but recording now, talking to you with the Splinter death. Now I might be wrong here because this just came to me, but it was like Zed was trying to zap him and take him out. And if you ever go back and watch the episode of Power Rangers, it's called White Light. It's when Tommy becomes the White Ranger. There's a spot where Zed's trying to attack Tommy, and it shows like, ugh, and then he like fades away. And what happened was Zordon actually took him to become the White Ranger. So maybe that's where they were going for this. And feel free, guys, to drop a comment on this on YouTube or Spotify, because me and Christian would like some explanations there. The other explanation we were trying to figure out is when we see a cameo, when we see Chrome Dome on the left, Pudgy Pig on the right, very popular because he's on the VHS tape Food Fight. He's been in a couple episodes of Power Rangers, but who's in the middle? My first thought was Lord Dreg. I can't think of anybody else. Now, War Bunny was a made-up character for this comic. He was not in, unless he's in the Boom comic series, he's not in the Power Rangers that I know, that I grew up with. But could you throw a guess at all, Christian, at who that person was in the middle? Was it Lord Dreg in like a crazy mutant form or anything?
Do you mean from the trio with Chrome Dome and the
Pudgy
big guy?
Yeah, because there was Chrome Dome on the left, on the right that was Pudgy Pig. That middle guy, it kind of looks like a Dreg, but I'm not sure. They didn't confirm his name. Yeah,
but wasn't that War Bunny in his morpher form?
Okay, so that was War Bunny.
The ears. I think they said War Bunny. It was, which makes it even cooler when Usagi is fighting him, like Bunny against Bunny. That just works.
Well, how do you? They knew Usagi too. Remember reading the comics? Kim's like, oh yeah, it's Usagi. Like, you know him. So I guess I don't think he's ever been in Power Rangers, but let's just roll.
They both had crossovers, yeah.
So I thought that was kind of comedic. How about Venus? Now I want to get your take on the shock here. The reason I'm going to say she's in it is because Power Rangers and Turtles were both rolling strong in the 90s. Seasons 1, 2, and 3 for Power Rangers, I think, was 91, 93, 94, 95. But they're also, again, there was that Power Rangers Turtles crossover in Next Mutation, if you remember. So maybe that's what they were going. But I didn't mind her at all in this one. I thought she was pretty cool. I thought she was a good bonus. How about you?
Oh, it once again, a very unexpected cameo here. When she popped up, I was like, okay, wait, is that Venus? Like, okay, did not expect to see her, but hey, it's cool. And I guess she's one of the reasons that I would really like to see another crossover. When Venus, now we have Venus in this world, she becoming a Power Ranger turtle or anything. Hey, that would be interesting. I mean, make it a one-shot or anything, just to see Venus as a Power Ranger. That would be something. Like, the funny thing is that everybody, when you see her, everybody knows that she is Venus, but her name is actually never mentioned in the comic. I don't know if this is some licensing stuff, is some licensing problem that they can't say her name, but it's her. It's definitely. So, yeah, from her side, would enjoy to see more. Maybe in another series. Who knows? Who knows nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, for the longer series, there are those annuals. It would be cool, just a quick little annual. Give me Rito Revolto and Venus, like a backstory that had them, because that's the only guy for me that's missing. We've seen Tango Warriors in the back. Licensing, I don't know if they could get Ivan Ooze from the movie involved or not. I'm not sure on that. That would probably be number 4 if they were going to go number 4. I think Ivan Ooze would be a dope character to have somehow, and it's because in that movie, too, remember they go for animals in that one, Adam's the frog, Aisha was the bear, and so forth and so forth. So... what else did I say about this one? Nothing but good things for me. I had fun with this one. I like the Hiyas and Siyas. They've been doing that for all 3 of the series just because that's what the Power Rangers do. They just yell out stuff. Badass to see Serpentera. Splinter as the White Ranger. Why not? All the other Turtles were getting some love. And then Rita and Krang trying to come back too. Were you shocked that we saw them again?
Oh, that's also very nice. I mean, they are imprisoned; they can't do anything. But to see them here, and I really like the last moment there when Shredder and Zed were also captured, and Krang was mocking them like, "Oh, how is the invasion going?" And Rita laughing her ass off. That was a very fantastic scene. I gotta say anyway that Shredder's characterization in all three crossovers was really great. I mean, in this crossover, that you really see he's a madman, he's crazy, he wants to take over the world, the usual stuff, but he's also got this sense of honor, and that's something I really like in my Shredder. I mean, the scene when at the start of the second issue, after Zed destroyed Splinter, seemingly, Shredder was kind of sad about it. It was like this was not the end he deserved, because and how happy he was when he was able to fight him later on. It's like, yeah, this is how it should be. We two fighting till the death. This is how it should be. Shredder versus Splinter, and this I really like. This I gotta mention that really enjoyed Shredder's characterization in this series overall. Yeah.
I remember you getting really excited on when you were breaking this down with Splinter and Shredder. Like, yes, this is the way it's supposed to be. Not the other guy eliminating. I'm going to be the one who takes you out. So, well written there. What else did I want to say about this one? Because there's just so much good stuff about this too from all three of these. I really enjoy how, again, our turtles. It's you can see it in Turtles Forever. They kind of dim them down. I like this how they make Zed and Shredder believable enemies that they could actually win, and that's how this series started out. You know, in this one, the first one was more comical with Rita and Krang because that's how they were. Rita always had a headache. Krang with his trying to like just, you know, that stuff. But this is why I was waiting for this, so it was well worth the couple-year wait to get this one. But that's it, guys. We have covered all the crossovers now up to 2026, all the way from Batman #1 to present day. So we've ranked them. We've done fantasies, like it'd be cool to get Mortal Kombat, some X-Men or Spider-Man. But one question I have for you, my friend, is if you could pick 3 of these to be an animated special, which ones would you choose? I'll go first because I always like hearing yours at the end because you always go like a way I don't expect, which is what I like. So I want a Batman Turtles 2. I'd like to see that Donatello Bane rivalry renewed. If they throw in bits and pieces of the third one, fine. Or the 2012, fine. But I want to see that Donatello Bane. Currently, I've been reliving the Street Fighter 2V anime, which I don't know if you've seen that one. If not, I highly recommend it. It's a great anime from the 90s. The animated movie was fantastic. I really enjoyed the chemistry that they had there. I'd like to see Mikey and Chun-Li get a little bit closer. I had a fun time discussing that with you. And of course, this has to be number 3. I'm not sure where they would go. Maybe they'd have to probably make this a 2-part movie to finally throw Lord Zed in there, because that's the one I really want to see. I've always been Zed's one of my favorite villains of all time. You may not know this because you're a big Power Ranger fan, but not like a super fan. They actually had to water Lord Zed down because he was too scary for kids, I was told. That's why he had the wedding with Rita, and Rito came in there and kept calling him Ed, because if you watched Season 2's beginning, he was pretty damn intimidating for, 4 and 6-year-olds. And you just see, because when he would talk and yell, his eyes would get all red. He would just like, Robert Axelfer, hopefully I don't botch his name, was a phenomenal voice actor. So those are my 3. I'm curious what your 3 would be.
Okay, that's a toughie. First off, yes, I would really enjoy an animated Power Rangers Turtles crossover. That would be pretty cool. I mean, live action would also be very interesting.
Now you're talking, yes.
But if that's not possible, I also take it animated form. And yeah, like bring in some of the voice cast, like from previous Turtle shows, and also like the old school Power Rangers actors that are still around. That would be very interesting. I think that would be a very cool thing. Then what did I something I forgot? The TMNT Naruto crossover, like in really a good animated movie, like a good anime. Like give it to a, I don't know, who are out there in Japan, like Mappa or Wit Studio or one of these big ones, or like UFO Table, who did the Demon Slayer movie. Give them like all the budget in the world and make it a TMNT Naruto crossover movie. I would, wow, that would be awesome. And the third one, maybe the Stranger Things crossover. Like make it an animated, a little darker here and there. Like the one they are releasing this month. There's like an animated short series for Stranger Things that they're releasing this month on Netflix. Like do it in this style. I could really see it with the turtles. That would be fun. Like really old school. Like they did the comic, old school turtles, classic 80s old school turtles. That would be fun. I think that would be really cool. So yeah, I mean, Turtles and Street Fighter, I would totally love, but I would totally love that as a video game. Make a TMNT versus Street Fighter's video game, and I would give you all the money. That would just be too cool. I would be there for it. So I guess that would be Power Rangers, Stranger Things, and Naruto anime movie. And then I'm happy. Then I'm cool for now.
Yeah, I know you want. Oh, I know you'd say, yeah, well, because we can make this another half hour. But then you can throw the He-Man one in there. The He-Man one was good, and yada. So just throw them all in there. So that Naruto one might work. I mean, they had all that extra merchandise at box lunch stores out here with T-shirts and much more than the comics. So there was interest there. I like your style too, because I was thinking the same thing with the Power Rangers. It'd be great if, let's say, Austin St. John and Amy Jo and David Yost and Walter Emmanuel Jones, they all come back and reprise their roles and voice those characters, would be phenomenal. And with the Turtle Street Fighter, we did have Mortal Kombat vs. DC back when we were younger. Remember that for Xbox 360 and PlayStation, which was cool. So why not? I mean, there's fan-made games out there. I'm sure somebody's got something out there if we dig deep enough. And the Power Rangers, if you're ever interested, they actually have a game called, I think it's Battle for the Grid. They actually had some Street Fighter Power Rangers. So there's actually a Ryu and Chun-Li like a Power Ranger. I guess it was in the comics somewhere, and it's actually in the video game. So pretty interesting stuff there. So for the Turtles, though, me and you both know the crossovers are not done. There's going to be another one probably before the 2026 comes out. We don't know who. We don't know where. We've given you guys our predictions on previous episodes here on Shellanomics. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. But, dude, that's it. We're going to take a little break from comics for a couple weeks because if you guys are hearing this, Chris and I are going to be breaking down the video games in the next few episodes here on Shellanomics, which I'm really excited to do. We're going to talk about the 80s and 90s, two of the greatest decades, the golden era of video games that me and you were, it's a biased golden era, but hell, it's the one we grew up with. That's where all the fun is. So I can't wait to hear your thoughts, your reviews on those. But as always, we brought you up before. Where can people find more turtle goodness, dude, on another awesome podcast?
Yeah, if you're up to it, check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Talk, my podcast, where I talk about all the turtle stuff. And so on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the other stuff, you can find me pretty much everywhere. Or just go to the website, tmnttalk.com. You can find all the stuff there, all the episodes, all the social media stuff. Check it out. Come on over. And as I always say, let's talk turtles.
Yes, I always do. The Discord's always popping too with cool stuff, and your Instagram's loaded with good stuff. So, real quick, where did you get that latest Instagram piece? I mean, well, and you're probably gonna say which one. I post almost every day, but there was like some one of your newer ones. If you could break down what that was, because that was another thing I've never seen before.
The Funko arcade mini.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah,
that was so cool. Yeah, I found that at like this shop. Like what's it? It's what should I call it? It does not exist over there. I know it's called Müller, which is like this drugstore where they also have some toys and some other stuff. And there I found really in the middle of this, I was just checking out what they have, and suddenly I found like this little mini arcade cabinet for Funko Bitty Bobs with a little Bitty Bob Michelangelo, and it's just so cool because you can, like, as you saw on Instagram, check out Instagram at TMNT Talk. You can stick this little bitty Bob Michelangelo in the background, and it looks like he is inside the arcade cabinet, like inside the video game. It's just fun. You cannot really play the video game or anything, but it looks cool, and it was just like, I don't know, $5 or anything. So like, okay, of course I have to take this. That was really fun. It was cool.
Yeah, and it's sacrifice one slice of pizza for a new toy. Seems like a good trade. The turtle toys can, the food can always come back. As always, dude, appreciate your time here, and like we always say, until next time.
Until next time, dudes.
Another episode of Shellonomics is in the books. If you guys have not yet checked out all of our other amazing episodes, we've had amazing guests. We've talked about the 1987 cartoon, 2003 cartoon, Next Mutation, Coming Out of Their Shells, video games, the comics, crossover comics like Batman and the Power Rangers, and tons of amazing content with you guys, the fans. Be sure to stop by our YouTube channel, Spotify, and Twitch. And if you have somebody who'd like to be on the show, get in touch with us at kingmikedas@gmail.com. That's KINGMIKEDAS@gmail.com.